Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Man City Fan TV's brand new show, the Empty Seat Show, with me, Doom, and my ginger sidekick, Gloom, over there. You're Doom, I'm Gloom. I forget it. I'm Doom, you're Gloom.
Starting well, mate. Starting well.
We'll get there. It's going along. And welcome to the brand new show, Empty Seat Show, which some of you may not get, but is in a reference to all those plastic fans, those detractors of our club, those who've never even stepped foot inside the Etihad on Main Road and say we cannot fill it. Well, tonight we're going to fill the empty seat, and we're going to talk all about the current topics surrounding Manchester City and much, much more. So, guys, let's get into it. Mr. Baker, how are you, buddy?
Hello, mate. Long time no speak. It must be what 45 minutes. Now, listen, buddy.
We had a chat 10 minutes ago.
Before we start, Martin, has there anything been on Twitter that's got you all giddy today? You've had quite the week, mucker.
Beg your pardon.
Well, you know.
I thought we were staying on script. Well, I'm living now. Whoa, what's this all about?
Well, you've been on that hype train, mate. How are you?
I was the lead driver. I've got off now. It's corroding. It's a out of control train going off the track now. I jumped off at the last station.
So you're all right.
I am. So, our first guest. What can you tell us about them, Mr. Baker?
Well, tonight's guest's first game was on the 15th of March, 1995. Away draw. 1-1 at Goodison Park with Everton. They've named their kids after two City legends, Vincent and Noel Sergio. Their favourite game was the 2-0 win at Newcastle in 2012, the Yaya game, for those whose memory betrays us. You'll get there one day, mate.
I was there. Their
all-time favourite player is Vinny. Our guest has interviewed every player from two of the most historic teams we've played. That was the 1989 5-1 demolition derby and the 93-20 game. That's a hell of a boast, really, mate. This person has written for City's most prestigious fanzine for 25 years, something we will delve into further, I'm sure. And Martin, most importantly of all, our guest looks a million times better than you do in the new third kit.
We were staying on scripts. It's just I'm living now. It's just turning into insults now. Guys, any guesses who you think it is? Do we ever see if anyone actually knows? Is it Santa? No, it's not Santa. I bet it's Kiam. No, Kiam is busy. Keep telling you that, guys. Ander? No, it is not Ander. Should we find out who it is?
Go on, mate.
Should we bring him in? 3, 2, 1. It is.
Hi.
Hi,
No, it is Emily joining us. I'm just gone. Sorry, joining us for our brand new show as our very first guest. So, Emily, how the devil are you?
Well, I mean, I've just seen in your comments on YouTube that somebody thought you were bringing in King Clancy, so I can only apologise. I'm really sorry you stuck with me.
I don't think Martin would cope with King Clancy.
I would
try and make it happen.
I would literally be having an heart attack if it was King Clancy. He's my all-time god. But Emily, you are brilliant. So,
thank you. Thanks for having me, and thank you for asking me. I really appreciate it. Thank you
for coming on. I'm sorry you got to put up with these two negative Nellies.
Oh no, it's fine. I am Little Miss Optimistic, so we'll all balance ourselves out.
So, Emily, we talked there about King of the Kippax.
Yeah.
A lot of fans on here will not have actually heard of it. Do you want to tell us all about the great King of the Kippax?
Yeah. Okay. So, King of the Kippax, Manchester City fanzine, the brainchild of Dave and Sue Wallace. And it was born back in 1988 because Dave just had an idea. It was the kind of dawn of the fanzine era back then. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at people's comments being silly. And I'm like,
yeah,
they get red.
Are they gutted? Are they
No,
gutted?
no, they're being. Danny to a me, can we stop that straight away? Off you go, Emily, continue.
Right. So yeah, 1988, and Dave really he'd seen like fanzines knocking about, and he was like, yeah, I fancy a bit of that. I'll have a go at it. And there was one City fanzine at the time called Blueprint that was going to press just as Dave was thinking about doing it. And apparently it didn't make the press. So Dave was like, right, I'm doing it. That's my sign. Let's do it. So Blueprint did actually happen, but King of the Kippax did as well on September the 24th, 1988. So it's been going ever since, yeah. And it's a bit of a City institution as well, isn't it? And I think it's fantastic because I think I saw a comment the other day about somebody saying, why should I pay that amount of money for City content when I can go online and read a million articles about City? I can find it all for free. Well, it's just brilliant satire written by really dyed-in-the-wool City fans who are devout fans, love the club, have been there, done it, got every single City shirt, and they just worship the club. And there's a really good mix of writers as well who do it all for free, out of passion, out of pleasure. And there's regulars who do it, like Burfield and Jed and the wonderful Colin Savage, who I just think is marvellous, so knowledgeable about City. And it's a really good mix of humour, typical City humour, satire, insight, articulation. And if you've never read a copy, it is well worth buying a copy just to dip a toe in the water, because I think once you do buy a copy, you'll never look back and you'll subscribe.
It's a tradition of the club now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it must be hard going during these sort of COVID times. Do you think it can keep on going?
Well, it was really touch and go with one issue. It was really touch and go. And Dave said, I've spoke with Dave before I was doing this, and I was just making sure I got his backing to do it, and just to make sure I was saying the right things. And he said that it was touch and go, but they've had more subscribers, and they've had really generous donations as well from City fans who understand the plight, understand that it's nobody's fault because of COVID and these times that we're living in. And there's many different ways that you can subscribe. I can run through all the details if you like. I know that people from overseas will be watching, so people might not have even heard of a fanzine, but if you want to read about City from a bit of a different perspective, then it's well worth trying.
Definitely, Emma, sell it, because it's important that it stays alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's if you want to buy 5 issues in the UK, it's £25 for 5. That includes postage, obviously. Then it's £30 in Europe and £35 for the rest of the world. They'll take backs payments on request, and they'll take checks and PayPal. And they also do a Kindle edition as well, so you can get it on your Kindle if you like. All requests and any kind of questions that you want answering, email kotk.fanzine@gmail.com, and Dave will answer any questions that you have. He's the editor, and his wonderful wife Sue is the co-editor, and she does the most amazing cartoons to match people's articles as well. So they are an institution at the club. I mean, Dave was on the board at City once when they could have a fan on the board back in the day. Dave was on the board, bless him. So, they're still going strong. He's been in hospital. He's had an operation recently on his foot, but he's recovering well. And, let's just keep him going and keep King of the Kippax alive.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Emily, do you just want to read that out again, that email?
Yes.
And we'll put it in the comments.
kotk.fanzine@gmail.com. And you can DM me if you like and get information off me, but just nice DMs, please. I don't want rude pictures or anything.
But it is such a brilliant fanzine.
I've seen it all, believe me, so I don't want any more.
That's KOTK. There you go.
I think for City fans out there who've never seen King of Kippax, it is a brilliant read. And like Emily says, it's funny, and it taps into that City fan sense of humour, doesn't it? As well as the more sort of important and serious pieces. It's a great read, and I think it's a must for any City fan.
They have the regular features that they do every month, like how was it for you, and it's a fix. They have like an editorial piece, and like I say, they have the regular writers as well. I started off actually writing from when I was I said 13 to you. I was 15. I was at school. I actually wrote my first article in one of my classes at school. I was skiving a little bit. I'd watched a program. I know, about Peter Reid called Premier Passions, and I did it like a review of that. And then from then on, I did a mix of like match reports, but most of mine are kind of nostalgia pieces or current issues. So I'll do like a bit of like a column, if you like. I didn't do one for this issue because I ran out of time, but the one previous, I had like feedback, from the CAS verdict, my opinion on that, and then Sane leaving. So I do a mix. Sometimes I write about like things that have happened in the past, or then current issues as well. But everybody who does it collectively has like different takes on everything. So it's brilliant. You cover all bases, really.
Of course you do. And I'll tell you what, I always remember it as me as a kid going to Main Road, and there's people just stood there shouting King of the Kippax, and you're like, it was something you always remembered going as a kid. And it's such a shame now that there's no fans there to do it, and that's why we're doing it here, because we want it to keep going, we want it to keep growing, especially in these tough times. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to bring up the email onto the screen. So there it is, kotk.fanzine@gmail.com.
Please try it, honestly. I don't think you'll look back. If you've never read it, you will absolutely love it. And I feel like really proud when I go to the games at the Etihad and away games, you see the sellers at away games. I love seeing people like at half time just sat with a pie, like scoffing a pie, and then like one hand on a pie and one hand on King of the Kippax like that. And then I'm thinking, it's just brilliant because it's just so informative as well for Blues. And we've got such a warped sense of humour, haven't we, really? We've had like this self-deprecating humour that we've had to have for everything that we've been through. Yeah. And it's so well reflected between every single page of that fanzine. It is just a marvellous, marvellous part of the club. Some people think that print is obsolete these days because so much of our lives is digital, but I am proper old school and I love a book, I love a magazine, and I'll always love a hard copy of something rather than just getting something. I mean, if that's your thing, you can get the Kindle copy and it's fine. But I do like having, like the physical paper and reading the pages. And so, sign up, give it a go, please. You'll be helping them, and
what I'm going to do,
they'll love it.
Pop it into the rolling screen at the bottom so they can see kotk.fanzine@gmail.com. So it is there through the whole thing for you guys to see.
Yes.
Sorry, my voice is going.
So there's a first.
Everyone's applauding that. So, is there anything else you want to say on King of the Kippax before we move on? Because before we just finish on, we are going to talk about Messi, guys. I promise you. Fine. We're trying to not talk about Messi, but we have to. But we want to make this big thing of King of the Kippax because it's amazing. It really, really is, and the people put so much hard work in, like Emily.
They've had 4 issues now without live matches, so I just think it's remarkable that they're managing to keep going. And KK 270, that is the latest one that's coming out now, so you'll be able to get that. That's gone to press, and that will be available within the next few days. So please go out, give it a whirl, buy it. Any questions, email them, message me, not a problem. But it is well worth a read, honestly, because wherever you go, you see Dave and Sue selling it, and it's such a shame. I mean, I felt really emotional. I've been watching a lot of football recently. I've been trying to fill the void in my life of football, so I've been watching all these European games, and then I've been watching like football documentaries. I'm so late to the party, but I've been watching Sunderland Till I Die, and that Oh my God, I'm on the second season of that, and it really, really takes me back to City, you know, and all the. I don't can I swear? Can I say shit?
Yeah.
And all the shit times that we went through, because we went through some shit times, and I was right there with the Sunderland fans, and I felt everything. But then it made me miss football even more. You know, like seeing all the videos of like the fans celebrating and the goals going in, and that adrenaline that goes through your body when you're celebrating a goal and hugging strangers, and it just made me feel even worse. I was like, oh, and then I watched Take the Ball, Pass the Ball last night, you know, about Barcelona.
I watched that last night. No,
you didn't.
Oh, I did.
Oh, my God.
I did watch it. And I just
oh, my God. I was there's a little segment in it that is all about Messi. And I was like, it was a bit like, you know, like Bullseye in the 80s. Have a look at what you could have won. It's a speedboat. You live in Tamworth.
It's so weird because last night I was watching the bit between, like, you know, talk about Pep and Mourinho.
Yeah.
They've got this hated rivalry, and some guy says, calm down, Pep. And he goes, I can tell he wasn't going to keep calm. I knew he was going to blow up at him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you just think, you know, you can just imagine. And then they had all that fiasco at the Swamp where they were throwing milk at each other. You're just like, that is just not going to die. That rivalry is just not going to go anywhere between those.
I absolutely, honestly, I loved every minute of it. And I loved, there's just bits when you watch it now that resonate with you from having Pep as your manager so much. Like the bit where he was like, I don't care if you miss a penalty or you know, misplaced tackle, whatever, as long as you give me 100%. That's all I ask of you, 100% all the time. And some of the comments from the Barcelona players about like what he was like, he's demanding, he's, you know, like he's overboard and all the words. And I was just thinking, yeah, but he's Pep. He's Pep. He can do that, can't he?
Yeah, he can.
He's just amazing.
I mean, guys watching, please go and watch that. I think it's on Netflix.
Take the ball, pass the ball.
It was. You get such an insight because it's one of the comments, I think it was Zabi made, said, Pep said to me, if I get you to the Champions League final, I will win it for you.
Yeah.
I will win it for you.
And that's
Just
another part where
final,
I was watching it. I was like, oh, look, there's Pep with the Champions League trophy. Oh, so he can do it, you know.
Oh,
can he do it without Messi?
Well,
so
But we have got a couple of super chats before we move on to the next question, Mr. Gloom. We have got Carl. Emily, I subscribe to Kippax. I get mine every month in the USA.
Brilliant. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Carl. And Sir Alan, all the way from Melbourne. King of the Kippax is part of the establishment of Manchester City. Met Dave on the plane going to Turin when we played Juve in the Europa League.
Oh,
it is an establishment. It really
is.
Really is. And like you say, us as fans, Chris, we've talked about this privately, haven't we? We take the mick, and this is how the name of the show came from. Because we were sick of going, well, everyone says we've got empty seats. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make a show and call it The Empty Seat, and we'll fill it. And that's the humour that other fans don't get with us. We are glasses half empty. That's the way we are. We could do a documentary on City fans called Glass Half Empty because they're just so perfect. We're the team that'd be 3-0 up with 5 minutes to go, and we're all sat there going, we need a fourth. Yeah. We're going to get beat 4-3 because that's just the way we are.
I think that's true. I was saying to Martin, Emily, that, you know, the 6-1 at Old Trafford, when Fletcher scored his goal, I was like, they're going to come back. But I think for fans who are newer, you know, not their fault, they'd be confident about us going on to win it. But us older ones are like, we're going to cock this up. We're going to cock it up. I think that's, you know.
It is. It's part of our history. It's like inbred into us, isn't it? It's just part of like our fibre of every part of our being that we have. And I do think there is, like, through no fault of their own with the young fans, that they miss out on that a little bit because of obviously just when they were born and what era of City they were born into. It's not their fault. You know, you can only support the club from the time that you do. And, You know, we've all come from different city areas and we've all enjoyed and endured.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's part of it. So
And I think it is, and it's not. This isn't a slight or anything like this, but I think that we just got a deeper, a more complex relationship with City. You know, because when we some of the newer fans are used to this successful period, and long may it continue. But like, I'm sure you're the same as me, Emma. You know, you're waiting for it just to all go pear-shaped.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, my eldest is 6 in a couple of weeks. He has been to loads and loads of games, and he's never ever seen City get beat yet, ever.
I think
it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take him to Leon? Should have gotten to Leon away. Yeah, got him on a plane to Portugal.
He's been to Wembley.
My lad's first.
He's been to Wembley 3 times, and we've won 3 times.
Brilliant. My lad's first 10 games, he didn't even see the opposition score a goal against us. It's just like, it's not always like this.
No, this
Guys,
is it.
we're not having a go at the younger fans.
No.
Oh God, no,
it's
never.
not their fault at all.
No.
Because I don't want people to quite. It's not our fault. We're only 20 years old.
No.
We know that. We know that.
No, we're not.
That's the beauty. And I will say to young fans, please realise how lucky you are to be seeing this and enjoy it. Enjoy it and never ever take it for granted, because like them down the road, as much as we're laughing at them, you know, they're calling it the worst time in their history. They ain't got a clue about being worst time. They're like 5th and they think it's end of the world.
United though, seriously, that's the problem, because they've got arrogance, because they've experienced so much success. They have great expectations. They've experienced winning trophies, and now they are where they are. And that is why they've got arrogance. And that's why City fans could never be arrogant, because we've come from being where we are. We didn't expect any of this that we're going through at the moment. We didn't, did we? We didn't expect the takeover, the signings that we've had, the trophies that we've won. We expected nothing of that. So because of that, we don't have the arrogance that United have got at the moment, because they just expect, they're demanding it, because they're like, yeah, but we're Manchester United. Yeah, but, you know, when was your last trophy really of any kind of relevance?
But I would have
There's
thought
a big difference.
Yeah, but I thought that their younger fans, the ones who maybe were sort of 12 when this sort of decline started, will be starting to be like what we were like, you know.
Yeah.
It's a relationship you have on a personal level with the club, and I think, you know, long may it continue for them. Definitely.
Well, thank you for that, MLM. So, guys, King of the Kippax, please subscribe. It's kotk.fanzine@gmail.com. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screens. Please subscribe to them, and it is an amazing, amazing fanzine to read. But thank you. So we're going to move on to the week that has just gone. To Lionel Messi. I'm going to send it over to Blue.
So, Martin, Emily, the past week has been dominated by the saga that is Lionel Messi. One of the greatest footballers ever, considered by many as the GOAT, right? But that's mainly by people who never saw the other genuine contenders like Pele, Cruyff, Maradona, and Jamie Pollock. Anyway, I digress. The week started with City fans getting more and more optimistic about the possible rival of Messi. It's probably best for Martin to take over from this point, because he was fully on board the hype train.
I was.
I wasn't on the hype train. I wasn't at the very beginning. Then I got on board and became the driver, and then it just came off the rails. It came off the rails. Emily, what do you think about the week that was Lionel Messi?
I think it's gone exactly how everybody kind of thought it would go, in the sense that it has been a bit of a political game, because now apparently they are close to reaching the signatures, aren't they, with Bartomeu and everything that's going on there. So it looks like he could actually be leaving, and it looks like, being a bit of a cynic, if you take a step back, you know, how strong that interview was that he did is, you know, garnered the signatures that were required to actually get rid of him. And I know the thing that really upsets me is that in that interview he looks genuinely unhappy.
Yeah.
Is he genuinely unhappy just at Bartomeu, or is he just genuinely unhappy about everything? Because, you know, I think a big problem as well is that his dad is his agent. If he would have had the right people around him, maybe he's too much of a nice guy, but maybe he would have been tempted. And I don't think it helped that nobody really knows what the clause is, because it's tit for tat, he said, she said, with La Liga and Barcelona saying that the clause exists, and Messi and his dad saying it doesn't exist and I don't play for Barcelona anymore. Do we actually have the answer of whether the clause exists or not in all of this circus that has gone on? Because we still don't know whether he could have left or not.
Yeah.
And that is like the £700 million question, isn't it? Because we're all still left kind of wondering if he could have left or not. Is it blackmail from Barcelona and La Liga to pressure him to stay? And is he too much of a nice guy because he just didn't want to take the club that he loved to court? But ultimately, he's saying that it was the club that he loved, but it's a two-way street, isn't it? So he's saying, oh, this club gave me everything. But you're Lionel Messi, you gave them everything. You've given the club all your 15 years at the club, and you could have gone anywhere, but you stayed with Barcelona and been loyal to them as well. So it works both ways. I just think it's all, I don't know who is really the winner out of all of it, because if he stays another season, they get nothing when he leaves. So they could have cashed in and at least made a pretty penny from it. But ultimately, where do we stand with the clause? We'll never know, will we? Will we know or will we not? I don't know. But it's just a really sad situation all around.
I wonder if it's all over. I wonder, you know, if City were to put a bid in of, say, 100 million.
God, don't do that to him.
It's over. It's done. Forget it. I'm not.
It might be.
But why I don't think it is.
Why don't you test Barcelona's resolve? Like you say, if he is going to go at the end of this season for nothing, and we know Barcelona have got financial difficulties, why don't we throw £100 million bid around that area and see what they say? Because if they accept it, we'll see if Messi's intentions were true anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be nice if we did know about whether. I mean, I'd like to think he's a genuine guy, because obviously he's saying that he's given the club, like he's saying the club have given him everything, and he was really upset. He mentioned, like I did when we were doing the Messi chat on here, about his kids and how important his kids were, and them being settled. Barcelona is all they've ever known. And I said that I was wondering how his young children, his young family would get on with moving and trying somewhere completely different, because they are of a young age, and to upheave them all from school, from friends, is a really big move. But ultimately, he said his wife was on board with it because he's been so unhappy. So you wouldn't expect those to be lies, would you really? But my big concern now is the Pep contract extension, because knowing that Messi is available on a free next year, we were all thinking, oh yes, Pep, Messi, Aguero, amazing at City. But until he puts pen to paper on that contract extension, he could go somewhere else with Messi, whether it be back to Barcelona under the new president, whether something like crazy like going to PSG for both of them might happen. Until he signs that contract, this season coming up now could be not unsettled, but we need that clarification really moving forward, don't we?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Otherwise, it'll be rumours, and then in January, it'll be back to all the Messi rumours, and then Messi rumours mixed in with Pep rumours, and everybody will be even more frustrated than they've been the past week.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and respond to that. I just need to hit the super chats that have come in, because we've had about 4 or 5 of them.
Wow, thank you.
Been talking, Sir Alan, typical
Nah.
I think that was on the being negative.
Yeah.
Manchester is blue. Man City 255. Thank you so much. It is blue. We know that. Alan again. He's spending his money tonight. Old City fans are not arrogant. The new City fans are becoming entitled. I'm not going to respond to that, because just go and look at Sir Alan's Twitter from yesterday and read that comment back. I'm on Sir Alan again. He's spending his bonus money here. Here we go. Thank you so much, Alan. Here we go. The ice cream van is coming down the road again.
What's the ice cream van?
Basically, that anybody who likes Messi is like kids chasing the ice cream van down the road.
It would have been amazing. I went on 5 Live on Saturday and they were really pushing me. They were like, so was you getting really giddy then? Was you that excited? And I was like, well, no, not really, because I thought it was all a political game. But then they kept pushing it and they were like, you were a bit giddy though. You were. Come on then. You were. And I was like, well, yeah, I was planning the welcome to Manchester Messi party, outside the Etihad and at Mary Deed. But you can't not think, what if, or you can't. There was that little bit of me that did get giddy, but I don't like transfer season in any way. Then that's why, because you can't believe all the rumours and the hype.
Look at gloom in the car.
I'm exactly the same.
Alan's back again. Messi's a drama queen, done so many times. I don't see now. I'm going to respond to that and to Emily on that because made some great points. I think the problem was, my viewpoint was the court situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pep and Cheeky were having quiet words with him to say, don't go down the court route. Because I think there's so much affiliation and love between all of them. Pep, Cheeky, Soriano, Messi.
Barcelona.
Barcelona couldn't go to court. And the way I put it is, it's like having a husband and wife, been together 20 years, they split up, and they're off to court to custody of the kids, and they're splitting TVs in half. And a lawyer or solicitor will tell you straight out, sort it out yourselves. Not going to court because it gets, excuse the pun, messy. And I think he just deep down could not take his long lost love, which is Barcelona, down the court route. I don't think he could do it.
Was it just the fact that the date in June was because of the coronavirus? Was it the fact that everything had been delayed, and if it was a normal season, then it would have been more cut and dry, and he'd said that I want to leave and it would have been a lot more straightforward? Is that the cause of so much conjecture, the fact that the date in June doesn't apply because the league has been continued to play and the Champions League because the coronavirus delayed everything? Is that the actual problem? And that is where it would be stuck in court. So a judge in court would have to decide, hang on a minute, these are extenuating circumstances because we're in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic in the world. Therefore, football had to be delayed. Therefore, football had to be played. Therefore, the clause couldn't have stood because he was still having to play because it had been delayed through no fault of his own. So, that is where it would have gone, surely, in a court. Surely he would have won, but he didn't want to put anybody through the heartache of it all. And he is, in that respect, a really nice guy. And you know what? In football, it's rare.
I think the problem is that he and Bartomeu, there's obviously no love from Messi towards him. And I think everything in that interview is indicating that the club's been run so poorly. He doesn't see that Barcelona are going to be challenging for possibly even La Liga, but for the Champions League in the remaining years that he's got. But I remember reading an interview about Messi. This is when he sort of came out on the scene, saying that he would never leave Barcelona because they paid for treatment to his legs when he was a teenager. He is obviously, and rightly so, very loyal to Barcelona. They've done a lot for him.
Yeah.
But likewise, he's given it all back in spades, hasn't he? So I'll be honest, Emily, I wasn't bothered he's not coming, but I do totally understand why we were getting excited about signing Lionel Messi, because he is the best player I've seen on that consistent level. He's just been, he doesn't seem to dip off much, does he? But say, Levy.
Yeah,
well,
this is
what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to, we're going to part the Messi bit for a bit.
Good.
I think, just like you said, I've got a feeling we're going to be coming back to it again in the next 2 weeks.
Without a doubt.
I just think we will. But as we know, this week, Ferran Torres, our brand new signing, and Phil Foden made their international debuts. And I've got to say, Torres to me looks very, very tasty on that wing. To me, he looks, honest opinion for me, he looked better when Sane when he first arrived. Now that's big hype. And Phil Foden, now Chris is looking at me like, oh my God. And Phil Foden, I don't know about you guys, but that film means so much pride. One of our own.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, I was like that. I mean, the Torres thing, I knew that he had so much potential, and he has been really bigged up as one of the best young Spanish players for a long, long time. So I was really intrigued to watch him in that game. And you're right. I mean, I don't like comparing players in that respect, but he was just really, really exciting to watch, like going down the wing and cutting in, creating. He was always doing something. And I just like the way that he cuts in, and he's right at the end, it was like a pre-assist, wasn't it? The little chip ball into the box. He's really, really exciting. And he's just the kind of player that we need. Young, hungry, vibrant, vivacious, and I just thought he was fantastic. And his work rate really impressed me as well. And that's where Sane always fell down for me. Like I say, I don't like comparing like for like because all players are different, but Sane's work rate always let him down, whereas Torres looked absolutely splendid. And Gundo had a good game as well in that game. He put a lovely ball through for the goal, and he scored a fantastic goal for Germany as well tonight. You want to see that he scored a really good goal. Right. So good for Gundo. I'm a bit of a Gundo fangirl. I know that is really controversial because he is like a bit like Marmite, but
don't let Andy hear you say that. Telling you. I mean, if you look at it, Chris, and we've had a bit of a international flavour this last because it's all been City dominated.
Yeah.
The England game was just City player sent off, City player who scores the winner, City player makes his debut.
Yeah.
And you've got Cancelo scoring an absolute wonder strike.
Thunderbolt.
Which apparently Andy said he was crossing it and it accidentally You've got Zinchenko.
They're the best goals.
You've got Zinchenko scoring when for City he can't hit a 5-yard pass straight. So
Bernardo assist him.
Yeah. It's
Sterling with
the
penalty.
It's like the ball blew off.
They've all been involved. Yeah. But I was like a proud mum with Phil Foden, honestly. It was like a coming of age moment.
I'm not proud mum.
Proud
dad, maybe, but not
I was like,
mum.
oh, look at him all grown up. But he deserves it. It's been long overdue and he deserves it. I was just a bit gutted that, like it was almost like a tiny bit watching City when they come up against the low block, and it's just one of them horrible, frustrating games, and it was a really dull game. And Kyle Walker getting the second yellow card, getting sent off, typical. But I was glad that Sterling scored as well because it annoys me that for England, he's had a lot of criticism for England, and he still got criticism after the game. Saw some of the comments, and I just can't please everybody, can you? You're never going to win everybody over and whatever. But our boys have had a really good time, haven't they, of late? They've been scoring and assisting for fun, and it's great to see that they're so active and so involved, and that's why they're at Manchester City, because they're the best.
You're damn right.
I'm excited.
Damn right.
They all come back like that, I'm telling you. But I'd say, internationals, if we're going off that, it's boding well. Chris, I'm going to hand over the next section to you, Mr.
Oh, well, this should be your section, mate, because it's transfers. What's going to go on coming up? Kalidou Koulibaly, is he coming or not?
I hate transfer season. I hate it, and I don't get involved because there's no point until you see him with Tixie with the shirt. Or signing the contract, because there's so much rumor and indifference, and you don't know who to believe. I'm not a fan of aggregators. I know that they've got to make a living, these information accounts, but it does my head in because there's so many of them, and they're all reporting different things, so they're all muddy in the water, and nothing is clear, and they're just adding to the mix of being frustration and what's going on and all the confusion. Koulibaly, the last I heard, was that they were demanding 90 million euros for him. City were offering 70 million euros plus bonuses. So, I mean, it sounds like it might still be a way off. And I know that some people will say, well, United paid 80 for Maguire, so, 90 for him. But I don't know. Is he worth it? Are we being taken for a bit of a ride because we're City? And we don't normally fall for that, do we? We normally stand quite firm.
But it's Napoli, and they've got a history for this sort
with
of
us.
thing,
Yeah.
But
and they know that they're playing on it.
Yeah. Do you think we need Koulibaly to come? Or for me, he is. I'm not saying he's. Martin thinks he's world class. He rates him very highly. I haven't seen enough of him to say that. But for me, we need a slightly older centre back, somebody with a bit more know-how to sort of bring through. And if we could get 3 seasons out of him at that level, then Emerick Laporte becomes that age, and you want that kind of turnover all the time. You've got a senior man and a guy coming a few years younger, and then the younger lads below that.
I completely agree with that, because it gets to a point where you need experience and you need somebody who's proven right now. You can play around with different players and you can put youngsters in as well. And I am all for bringing in the youth, because that's how they get on and that's how you find talent. But sometimes, as proven last season, you need the right person in the right position at the right time. And I mean, Martin, do you think that I know people get frustrated when you're like, is he worth the money? Because it's not your money. So why are you so bothered about it? But do you think that they should pay that amount for him?
It's a difficult one, because I've said this to Chris and I've said it on the channel. You probably heard me, Emily. I'm sat there thinking, who do we get for less? Who's that quality?
Is he the difference between us winning the league next season and us not winning the league? Because if he is, then he's worth paying it.
I honestly think we've never replaced Company.
No,
and
we've
as
not.
much as Ake is an absolute great prospect, he's still a prospect. He's not the finished article. And my analogy was, I think City or Pep wants a Rolls-Royce defender now. He wants someone 28, 29, like Chris says, the experienced guys who doesn't need 2 years to settle in, doesn't need 12 months to settle in, comes in and he's ready to go.
That's right.
And I think, unfortunately, they come with a premium. You do.
Yeah. And
I'm just sat there thinking, well, if it isn't Koulibaly, who is it then? They mentioned Diego Carlos, but apparently everyone's saying he looks like Bambi on ice. And then you've got Jimenez. Atletico come out and said he isn't going for anything less than his £120 million release clause. So I think what United have done, and I'm not trying to blame them down the road, because they've spent silly money on average players, it's pumped everyone else up to go, right, well, we're going to have to pay it. And if it's 90 million euros, you're looking at 80 million quid. I don't think that's too bad for him, And that's just me, because I do think he's twice as good as Ake. I do.
And he's better than Harry Maguire, and that's how much they paid for Maguire, and that's the fact of it. That he's slightly older, I think, but that's the crux of it. But it is a problem position for us. It's been proved that it is a problem position, and I mean, if a player is the difference between winning a trophy or not, then that's the way you've got to look at it. But I do think sometimes that clubs try it on a little bit because we're Manchester City. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, I do think they know it and they play the game. I think it's been proved in the past with transfers that we've walked away from and been like, you know what? No, thanks. See you later. We won't be held to ransom. Why should we? And we are. I always use the word astute in the transfer market. We've always proved to be astute. And I think we've got a really good business model. We know what we can and can't spend. And let's just stick with that. And I mean, if we need him, then we need him. Let's just see how it all pans out, because it's all rumours at the moment. Yeah,
and that's the thing, it is all rumours. So, Chris, you want to move on to the next question? Because I know you've been very, very vocal privately with me on this. You sat with your pen and paper Oh, he sat with his pen and paper, going through each name, going in, out, in.
Oh,
I'm not quite that severe. He's winding you out.
Oh, yeah.
oh.
Are there any gaps in our squad you think that need filling other than the centre back?
Do you know what my position that frustrates the life out of me is? And you know what I'm going to say? It's left back.
Yeah.
It really does frustrate me. But people, you know, they love Cancelo, don't they? And they think that he's more than capable of playing at that role. Mendy is just so frustrating because I want to see more of him. I want to see consistency from him. I want to see him play more. I need to see more of him because my jury is so out with him.
Yeah.
I know that he's capable of it. I love his whip balls into the box. You know, he does look quite clumsy at times. But he's inconsistent. And with Pep's system, wing backs are such an important part of Pep's system to work, to make it work. The wing backs have to be right. Kyle Walker, undoubtedly for me, is one of the best right backs in the world at the moment for me. People might think I'm crazy, but he is. So that position is not a problem. But the left back, it has to work with both of them being in sync. And because we're just not sure what's going on, I think Zinchenko, you know, he's done a job for us, brilliant. But that game at Old Trafford when he played, my God, it was like I don't like dogging. I don't do it. I don't do that. I don't go on Twitter and slag individuals off. But it was concerning, to say the least. It was concerning to see a performance like that.
How did you feel about the fact that we go into our biggest game of the season, which is against Lyon, and Mendy doesn't get started? I thought that was telling. You know, is there a trust issue with Pep and Ben Mendy? And it didn't sound like he had any injuries.
Yeah, I mean, we all went on here, didn't we, Martin? And we gave our prediction for the starting 11, and I think Mendy got the nod from us. And
he said if he's fit, he's playing.
I was going to say, though, because I did it with a different position. I did it with the centre-back position. I said something like, I would actually play Otamendi, but he will play Garcia. And I was going to say I would play Mendy, but he'll go with Cancelo. And he did, because that's Pep, isn't it? Because, you know, why go left when you can go right? But, I mean, that game was just odd anyway, wasn't it? It was just really odd and really frustrating, and it just felt like such a huge wasted opportunity. But Mendy, where do you go from here?
Well, I think.
Sorry, go on.
Do you want to tell Emily about the tweet you saw and got told about?
Yes, please.
I'm not that sort of person, Martin.
Yes,
and I think
you were telling me all about it.
Tell me.
I heard this is a long time ago, about 3 weeks ago, Mark, that Mendy was going to be part of a make weight for the Koulibaly stuff, because they'd seen that he'd put a tweet on saying something like, you know, I'm out of here, and then he deleted it sort of straight away as well. So, but that it seems to have gone too far for that to be true. I'm not into this sort of rumour mongering, so I don't feel comfortable saying that.
I would be really. I know, like, I'm not slagging Mendy off because I do know he's capable of doing a job. I do know that, and I need to see more of him. I want to see more of him, but I would be really concerned if he left, because that would leave us. Where would that leave us in that position? Yeah. Really, like, you know, it's been such a question mark of a position, and it does need looking at, and it does need sorting. But I mean, Cancelo is growing more in confidence, and he's been performing better, and let's just give him more of a chance. Some players do take time to adapt to the Premier League. Look at David Silva.
Bernardo, David, Fernandinho didn't have a great. Yeah, we could go through them all, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And I think as well. I mean, Mendy's knee seems to blow up after most games, isn't it? So I don't think he can play game. When Nathan Ake's come in now, hasn't he? So he can play left back quite well. I think he's going to get more game time than most people would imagine. And I think he might sort of play one game and then Ben Mendy play the other.
Yeah. It's handy to have a player like that who's versatile because you can really utilise him more. And I just think he's a great addition to the squad. They're two really good signings for me. I know that quite a lot of people were underwhelmed with Aki, but he's a really good signing. And for the price we paid as well, it's happy days. If he's a versatile defender like that, then it's a great signing.
Do you know what I think would have been better? So I think if you'd have got Koulibaly in first and then got Aki in, I think everyone would have gone, that is two great businesses.
Yeah.
But because we're all sat here going, we want this top centre-back, and then Aki rolled in and everyone went, because it's been rumoured they were going after a top centre-back and then they were going to do a backup. You know, I mean, I've said it for weeks and got told I was talking rubbish that they wanted two centre-backs. Well, it's turned out Martin was right again on that one. But, no, I'm only joking, but I think if Aki had come in second, I think he'd have been more accepted. Because I watched him tonight for Holland at left back, and he outshone Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So I sat there thinking, he could easily go and play left back for us. And I wouldn't be surprised at Wolves if that's what Aki starts as.
Another thing about Ake, you only have to look what the players who play with him and the Bournemouth fans think of him and how he's spoken since he's come to City. This is a really intelligent and looks like a thoroughly nice bloke. Which we seem to have a team full of them. This profile that we seem to set for our players. I think he fits right in, and like you say, his versatility because he can play defensive midfielder as well. If Rodri was to get injured, we wouldn't have to rely on Ferner or Gundo to take over that position. I personally think he's going to be a sensational signing, and that will be proven in time.
Yeah, I hope so, without a doubt. I think, like I say, those are two really great signings for me. Torres, I am so excited to see what he can offer to the team. Honestly, I just think he's just going to be brilliant, and he's going to have a great future. He's so young. And it's going to be wonderful. Yeah,
I think it'd be great to have Torres, Sterling on the wings again and bring that pace back on both sides. I think that'd be great.
That'd be like the Centurion season.
Yeah.
Reasons to be optimistic. Come on. And I know that you're probably thinking as well, because you're asking me about positions, maybe about are you thinking the striker position? Because obviously we've got Aguero, but people are so mixed on Jesus, aren't they? And I mean, I love him, mate. I think he's brilliant. I think Jesus is such a confidence player that when he bags, he flies. But he's one again with the work rate. He will work his socks off. He's got great vision. He's got great technique. He's a really exciting player. But people get on his back because when his head drops, Yeah. And it can take him a bit of time to find his way. But once he's found it again, boom, look at the performance against Real Madrid. My God.
Amazing.
He was absolutely sensational. I would have been gutted if that Messi deal went ahead and he left.
Yeah, I would have been as well.
Because those were some of the rumours.
Yeah.
But I'd like Haaland.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like Haaland. He's the one I'd want.
When I've slagged off Gabby, I've not wanted him to leave. No, I've not wanted him to leave. I've just said I'd like him to stay for his work rate. Like you just said, Emma, but on the wing like he does for Brazil. Not as a striker, because I don't think he's for me, you want a striker. I mean, we'll go back to the Lyon game. That chance he had. Yeah. A top striker buries that in the net.
Yeah, but the Sterling chance.
I know Sterling was I know that.
I'd bury that.
Don't get me wrong on that.
But we're not dogging Sterling because he's amazing. He had his best season. He is just like...
That's my only doubt on Gabby. My doubt is as a striker. Is he Aguero replacement? And at the moment, I'm saying no.
No, but who is?
His stats. Yeah, exactly.
Aguero.
Exactly. Yeah. There is no replacement.
Irreplaceable. No, they're different. They're different.
I know. I did say that we would have to might have to change our style up front.
Yeah.
Completely when Aguero goes.
Yeah.
I think Gabby's stats match up nearly to Aguero's. They are brilliant stats. The only problem is you can't judge a player for me on stats. He does have games where he you know, you can see his head's dropped.
He struggles, yeah.
Yeah. But I'd stick with him. I would. I really like Gabby.
Me too.
Yeah, definitely. And his work rate, I think if you had Torres, Gabby and Sterling up front, they will terrorise nearly every defence.
Can you imagine? Like, if there's like fans of other clubs who might be watching this, they'll be like, are they actually having a debate about Gabriel Jesus and we're stuck with like XYZ up front? They're actually thinking, is he decent or not? They'd snap your hand off for his right leg.
No,
they would, wouldn't they?
Look at these self-righteous idiots. Yeah. 10 minutes ago, the glass is half empty. Now they want rid of Gabby. Like, come on.
No, we don't. No,
I don't. We have had a super chat off Addy. Aki's mentality is another thing, our defense.
Yeah.
Great point.
Definitely.
Thank you for your super chat, brother. Go on, Chris. Do you want to move on to anyone else?
Well, I just want to say, Addy's he's not new, but he's very new to the channel, and he has been such a great asset since he's come on. Really positive fan. Takes the mick out of me for being negative. He's a great guy. So thank you very much, Addy. Thanks for coming on again. So, Emily, I'm going to ask you something controversial.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyone in the squad you would get rid of?
I'm going to get hate. I'd be quite, I don't know, maybe, Zinchenko. He's been playing out of position. That's the problem, because he's a midfielder, you know, and we've already kind of got enough midfielders there. We've already, you know, it could be, if he's happy to rotate and be a squad member, then maybe. But Zinchenko and John Stones, I'm sorry.
Me and Emily did not speak beforehand.
I'm sorry.
Give up the same names here. We didn't.
Honestly, I just think like I've been waiting for it to happen, and I'm still waiting. And I know he's had injuries, and I know that he's got fans out there. And you know, I am a fan. I don't single out players. I don't do that. It's not my style. But I just think if it would have happened, it would have happened by now. And we're still waiting. And I do think that he has to rely on having somebody really, really good next to him. He has to lean on somebody else a lot. He loses concentration quite easily, and that is a problem if you're a defender. And he can get lost. I'm sorry. People will hate me for saying that, and I don't like giving up on players.
That's fair. No, everyone's got their favourite players, though, Emily. I think for me, it'd be Otamendi. He would leave because I think Stones has got more to offer because of his age and he's homegrown. But I'm not a big fan of Otamendi. I'm a bit like you. I don't like to, dog on any of our players.
Yeah.
But Zinchenko, I'm with you with. Totally, off you go.
I like Otamendi because Otamendi puts the fear of God in fans because he's so hot-headed. He can be really temperamental. And he lunges in all the time with those lunging tackles. He spends more time on the floor with the lunging tackles than he does defending, but he cares. And he's got metal in him, and he's got passion, and he's got fight. And he will always give you 100%. That's the difference between him and Stones for me. And he does put the fear of God in me. And I am watching with one eye open when I'm watching the game when he's defending. But if it was a choice between the two, it would be Otamendi. Everybody's got the favourites, and everybody would be disagreeing, and I'm not bothered because it's my opinion, and I'm honest, and I'll always be honest. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody will be going anywhere though.
Well, one thing I will. I mean, I think we're going to have a busy. We've got 2 weeks before we start.
Don't look like it.
I tell you what, we're going to end up having to really get something moving. We kick off in 2 weeks, and we've still got players to sign and players to go out the door. Because right now our squad's going to be too big if we had anyone in. So we're going to have to sell some. We're going to have to sell 1 or 2 out the door. I think Angelino's gone. I think Otamendi's going to go. I don't even know about Garcia anymore, even though I would get rid of Garcia tomorrow, because the day he said he's not signing a new contract, bye-bye for me. I want someone who wants to stay.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I get that. But Pep went with him in the Lyon game, despite him saying that. So,
That's what surprised me. That's what surprised
who
me.
knows with that?
Yeah.
Pep's not bothered about that.
Super chat as well. Sir Alan again. He's got plenty of money, this lad. Cheeky, can't close my back door, let alone a deal.
We don't know though. This is the thing, right? Because City are always so clever and so discreet in the transfer market. They're always really discreet with the transfer acquisitions. So we don't have a clue what's going on at the moment. There could be a few things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. We only hear the rumours that are floating around, and a lot of the rumours are well off the mark. So there's got to be things happening behind the scenes, and there will be, because it's that time of, it's silly season, isn't it? So let's wait and see. That's all we can do.
Yeah. Now,
stay optimistic.
Andy said he's putting a super chat in and waiting for it. I am waiting for the super chat to appear from Andy.
What is it?
He said he was going to put in at the very end. Now, guys, we are jumping into the last 5 minutes. I will say Emily has been absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'm sorry it wasn't King Cladzy. I'm really sorry. I can try to make that happen.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine that? I interviewed Nikki Summerby once, and we were talking about people won't get this at all. Nikki Summerby and Georgie King-Clancy had a race once. When Georgie King-Clancy came over, he bought a Ferrari, and Nikki Summerby was like, come on then, all right, let's see what it can do. And the road near the airport where it kind of goes under the runway, well, yeah, they had a little race down there, and King-Clancy crashed, didn't he?
Yes, he did,
the one going into Wilmslow.
Yeah. So we were talking about that, and we're having a good chat about it and a good laugh and stuff. Not laughing at the fact that he was, he crashed and stuff, but it's a bit of a story. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get him to tell you all about it." Handing me the phone, and I was like, "There you go." And I was like, "Oh hi Georgie, yeah, how you doing?" It's like, what is going on? Hi, you were on the back of my first ever City shirt. It's just crazy. These things happen.
Say, I was sat in the main stand, 5 rows from the front, like I'm in the Colin Bell now. And when King Clancy scored that goal against
Southampton.
I'm like, have I just seen that? And then there was a run he did against Newcastle as well in the 3-3 draw that season, where he ran through about 10 players. And now this was Newcastle, who were top of the league and flying at the time. And I'm going, what is he doing? And we interviewed Jim Whitley on air a couple of months back, and Jim Whitley said that's as close to Lionel Messi he's ever seen in training. He said he was outstanding. He used to do things in training. Now, you probably all remember, Platt Lane and everything. It wasn't the nicest of areas to train in. It was a big fence, see-through, and everyone could watch. For the old New City fans, City used to board a bus to get to games. That's how we were once. But it's just, he always reminds me when he says King Clancy was amazing. And I always do think I'd love to have seen him in a Barcelona, an AC Milan at the time, a Real Madrid, just to see whether he could do it. Not playing right wing back for Ajax like he ended up doing.
I'd love to see him in this current City side. Pete King Clancy and Ali Benabia. Those two players in the current City side would just be wow. Because those two players back then were just... King Clancy was a shining light in shite.
Yeah, he was.
Without a shadow of a doubt. He was a shining light in shite, and it was such a shame because he was just our standout player, but he was a joy to watch. When you were there, you'd just be enthralled by it. You'd be waiting to see what he'd do, and the ball fell at his feet.
He brought the magic, didn't he?
The pitch. He brought the magic, and at least he was there. At least we got him. And then all these Georgians turned up, like Kavalashvili and Murtash Shalaya and Shadadze, and it was like, Georgian overload. Was it like buy one get free?
Emily, can you teach Martin how to say those off camera? Because he's not
Whoa.
not very good
She
at pronunciation.
No,
Kavalashvili.
I am Kavalashvili.
At least he scored in a derby.
Mertashvili. There was Pipo. That was his name, Pipo. I'm calling him Pipo. I'm going to give him the exact same thing. Oh, hang on. I've had a message. I'm going to just say. Oh, right. Okay. Andy sent me I've got to put a message up when I can find it. Just bear with me. Andy sent the message and I've been told to put it up. So I will. Bang. Question, Emily. What are your thoughts on so-called City fans slagging off the board because a player hasn't signed immediately? Do they sound like entitled fans?
You do sound like entitled United fans. You do, and it's wrong. Like, you just got to be patient and see what happens, because that's not really what we're about, is it? As City fans, demanding and stomping our feet and pointing the fingers. We've just got to see how everything plays out, because we've got like 2 weeks left. I think maybe a bit longer of the transfer window. I think it's longer. I'm sure it was like going into October or something.
I think it's October the 5th, is it?
Yeah.
Start of October, yeah.
We've got plenty of time left, and I think the problem is these expectations, and people just want and expect. And some things, good things come to those who wait, and you just got to wait and see what happens, because we've got plenty of time to go. It being entitled and arrogant is not a good look, and it's not really. I would never tell anybody how to support the team. People might think, "Oh, shut up! What are you on about?" But it's just not a good look, is it? Just wait and see what happens, and just be grateful with what we get.
Definitely.
Listen, the thing, like I said at the beginning, it's a difficult one, because some of these younger fans, they're not used to, York, Lincoln, Blackpool, Walsall. They're not used to that, and I get it. And I
don't want them to get into it, though.
No, I know, and I don't want them to go back there and watch that. I really don't want them. I wouldn't want that on me. Even though to us it was some of our greatest ever memories, we wouldn't swap it for now. We wouldn't go, oh no, forget a Premier League. What we're going to do is we're going to go back and get beat by York again.
Do you know?
We're not saying that.
No. This is a bugbear of mine, and I do hate it. It's like there is a divide between old and new fans, because the new fans hate it after a game when City have been beat, because the new I'm not going to say new fans, sorry, I'm going to say the younger fans. The younger fans will say, "Oh, don't give me any of that York away nonsense, because we're living in the here and now, and there can't be any excuses like that anymore, because it's a different generation, a different era, and there are different expectations." So you've got, on one hand, you've got younger fans who are like that. Then on the other hand, you've got older fans who have died in the wool, been there, seen it all, sat through City getting beat at home 4-0 by Wickham, Wimbledon. I went to Highbury, watched us get beat by Arsenal 5-0. I went to Stamford Bridge, we got beat 5-0. I've seen a lot. We've all been in different generations, but there is this divide when we get beat, and you see it time and time again.
Yeah.
The different aspects of our fans attacking each other, and it is a bit embarrassing, really. The fact is that we are living in the here and now, and we have to judge City on what we do watch now. But the older fans do have that kind of aspect of it from well back when we did sit through that, and I'm just a little bit, I'm just enjoying the ride, and what happens, and I don't expect to win this and I don't expect to win that, but I do appreciate that there are the expectations generally on the club there. So I do respect that the club expects certain demands from Pep. So it's different all around, isn't it? It's a different perspective from different fans. But we all have to just respect each other and respect that. But it is a bugbear of mine when I see City fans from different generations arguing with each other. I don't get it. Just enjoy the ride.
Do you think social media's had an impact on that?
Yeah. Can you imagine social media if it was there in the 90s with City? Can you imagine? Because it would have just been implosion. My best memories of the club, when I had disposable income, I went home and away for seasons with the club, and it was absolutely brilliant. Like the Keegan era, some of the games was just fantastic, but then further back it was dreadful. We were watching like awful dogged football where you were just like 0-0 at home against Northampton Town, Chesterfield. You were just turning up just to be loyal.
Yeah.
And we sat through it and we were loyal. But my favourite memories are of more recent times because they're just absolutely remarkable memories, like the Newcastle away game with the Yaya goals, the anticipation of potentially winning the league, you know, beating United to the league, and then the 93-20 game, the QPR game, that was just, it was just
6-1.
phenomenal.
6-1.
The 6-1, the 6-1, the 4-1, you could go, but we've
That
got all these
1-0
amazing, the 1-0,
I still
the
put
Monday
that
night.
game up there because that was the day when I went, we're winning the title.
Which one though? The United game or the Leicester game?
The United
Company.
game. Not United game.
Because I love the Leicester game.
Oh, yeah, totally. But that, I think it's because we beat them and they were going for the title.
Yeah.
And
it was huge.
They turned up. And if you remember, Ferguson brought his team for a point because that's all they needed.
Yeah.
And he parked the bus.
It was amazing.
Parked that bus up. And it's just, it made me laugh.
It was always going to take something like that, you know, that bullet header from Cumps. And so that was just unbelievable. And then the Leicester game, like I say, apart from that goal, it was such a tense game. It was really, really close. And again, it was going to take something remarkable, a bolt out of the blue to stun everybody. But who would have thought it would have been something like that from somebody like that who means so much to the club? Yeah, exactly. So all these recent memories, the United semi-final in the FA Cup, all these memories that I'm saying, these were my favourite games that I went to. But they're all recent times, so, you know, we did enjoy it back in the day for different reasons because it wasn't what we enjoyed on the pitch. It was more like, you know, like everything about Main Road and the people that you went there with.
It was a community, wasn't it? The more of a community sort of, you know.
But even now, like it's on and off the pitch for me now. There's so many amazing City fans that I know through social media, on Twitter. You know, I've met so many amazing people off Twitter. People who have become better friends to me than like actual friends, if that makes sense. So
it's been a hell of a journey, hasn't it? You know, you got from the moments Lionel Messi started ripping up the league all those years ago, and where we were to this week, were the team that he wants to join. It's just bizarre.
Phenomenal.
You know?
I'm just going to bring up super chats have been coming in like crazy. Thank you
guys
so much for that. Shedders.
People are still watching.
Yeah. 130 people we've still got. It's going up.
Oh,
£2.50. Thank you so much, Shedders. Amazing, buddy. And we have got a big super chat from the one and only Rubito.
What a guy.
Wow. Thank you.
Rubito, one of our mods, absolute superstar.
Amazing.
Imagined.
That'll buy Chris's rack of beer, don't you, worry. Mingy one going into the channel into Tackle for Manchester, guys. It's only a joke for anyone says we're funding Chirs Baker's beer, you know.
It's a good idea though, Martin.
It's not. You can get your beer from Mingy Wong. Thank you very much for yours. It doesn't matter if it's little, if it's a lot. It's every. I don't want to sound like a Tesco advert, but
every little
does help. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to draw that to a close. I just want to say a big thank you to Emily, who has been absolutely amazing.
Oh, no thanks. Thank you for having me, letting me ramble on, and because I go off on a tangent and get carried away. But
I'm going to give you a virtual hug. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks so much for sticking with me. And like I say, you know, I'm not
breaking news. We ain't doing virtual hugs. That just stops right now. Stop.
You're not getting one.
That far.
You won't be getting one.
No, Emily, you have been an absolute superstar. And before we go,
thanks,
give it one last plug on that King of the Kippax, please.
Please keep King of the Kippax going. You know, it's part of the club, part of the lifeblood of the club. It's by the fans, for the fans. You cannot find content like it anywhere on the internet. I promise you now. You can find loads of City content, but it won't be like this. I'll tell you that now. Go and buy a copy. Just buy it, and then you don't even, if you're not interested, then you don't have to buy it again, but you will, because you'll just be hooked. So buy it. kotk.fanzine@gmail.com. Get it on your Kindle or get it through the post. Please, please, please don't be shy. Drop Dave a line. Help out, because without the fans, there will be nothing and they'll be obsolete. Let's keep part of City's history going, because it's so important, please. And you get to read me as well, sounding off if you really want to, because I've just sounded off for an hour. So.
And I can assure you guys, Man City Fan TV is going to do a lot of plugging on King of the Kippax.
Please, please.
We are really, really going to do it.
Please.
And look out in the future, because we may get other people from King of the Kippax on.
Yes.
Don't you worry. We
yes.
do it.
You must.
Chris, have you got anything to say before we depart, brother?
I want to thank Emily for joining us. She's been a brilliant first guest. Couldn't have asked for more, really.
Thank you.
Maybe even better than Georgie Kincladze. So thanks so much for coming on. I want to thank everyone. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching and making the super chats and helping our channel. It really, really does help, and it really is appreciated. Join us again next week when we'll have someone else in the empty seat. Thanks very much, and I'll probably speak to you in 10 minutes, Mark.
I'm not turning my phone off. Right, no, guys, thank you so much. You have all been superstars. I'm sorry if we didn't go through your comments. This show, we are going to interact a little bit with you, but it's going to be more interactive with the guests that is on. That is the whole point of this show. Empty seat. We are going to fill it every single week, and you will not know who it is unless you tune in live every Sunday evening. We will confirm the time on the day. It may not be the same time every single week, because we have work commitments, things happen, and we don't want to say to you, it's definitely going to be this time every week. And then someone says, I can't because of work, and we have to stop it. We don't want to do that. So all we'll tell you is it will be live every Sunday, but the times will vary as we go along. So check out on Twitter and also on the channel, and we'll tell you when we are live with it. But yes, thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I've loved it. Thank you. I hope I've not bored everybody.
Have you? You could never bore anybody. T-Rex, €5. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
You guys have been on fire tonight with your.
He's another new brilliant participant, mate. Brilliant T-Rex.
I'll tell you what, guys, can I just say before we go, thank you for the love and the support you have shown the channel in the last few weeks. It's been amazing. This channel, I joked when we were at 13,100, I joked 2 weeks ago, we're on our road to 15K. We are less than 300 away now. Guys, you are amazing at it.
That is amazing.
That
is incredible.
And it's thanks to these guys in the comments, and because great guests like yourself, Emily, this is why.
You guys, you're just absolutely brilliant at what you do, and you're a breath of fresh air, and that's what I love about it. I think that the City fans need people like you to represent them, and if they're missing out if they're not watching it. We've started watching it more and more, and we love it. Honestly, me and my fella, we get in bed at night and watch it.
You know what?
Yeah. That is it. There's no
Why
passion.
you're in bed watching me, I do not know.
He'll be watching it now and thinking, "Oh God, you just sold me out," because like everybody will know that there's no action going on, but it's true. We get. This bit like because of the Messi thing as well. It's just been like phone, you know, like at night, and he's been snoring. Too much information. Sorry,
Martin. I tell you what, Martin. I never knew you're an aphrodisiac.
No, but
what I do is, guys, you found out Martin wrecks everyone's sex life. So now you found that out, I wreck everyone's sex life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have I gone bright red? Have I gone bright red for this second night in a row?
What I mean is, it's a must watch. So
subscribe.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button, ruin your sex life.
Please.
And guys, please, we're going to put that, forget the for the fans, by the fans, subscribe to the sex life. That's going to be the new tagline. Guys, thank you so much. If you want to, we are on Instagram. Someone just put, Kamal Dwyer looks after us. You watch us. Andy says, you watch us in bed. And he's laughing. Don't twist this, Andy.
Martin, pull the plug.
We're plugged. No, don't say that either. We're not pulling anything. Right. Emily's just told us that's the problem at the minute. Watching us.
Martin?
Right, no, it's not.
I'm going. We're ending.
It was a compliment.
Guys, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Join us next week for the Empty Seat Show. Find out who's going to be
My mum's watching
our Empty Seat. I'm trying to go out here and you're making it worse.
Hi, Mum. She's laughing her head off. I can hear her. I've come to Mum's house to film it. I can hear her laughing downstairs. Sorry.
Brilliant.
Oh, forget it. My other half watches this. I'm in trouble when I get downstairs. What are you saying? Right, I'm going.
It's gone to shit.
Have a great. I hope you've had a great weekend. It will not be like this. It will not be like this.
Oh, good.
I promise you.
Oh,
We
I'm
were
sorry.
going so well. We were going so well. Guys, have a great evening. From me, Doom, my sidekick Gloom, Emily,
Thank you.
Contributions. Have a great week. I'll be back tomorrow night with a live vlog, and I'll let you know the time. But guys, have a great week. Speak to you soon. And as always, up the blues. Good night, fellas.
Bye.